Take us away, Lolo.
Hi, I'm Lolo.
And I'm Ben.
And this is Hey
And
Bay
this is
City.
Hey Bay City.
That's perfect. If you want to keep that, I can keep that. Yeah. Let's do it.
Do you want to even make it more awkward?
How do you want to make it more awkward?
Yeah, how would it be more awkward than that?
You almost turn into a psychotic doll at the camera.
Oh, like an awkward stare?
Yeah, a very awkward stare, but I'm a half second behind you trying to be like awkwardly charismatic.
Okay.
All right, let's try it again.
Yeah,
let's go one more time.
Let's do it. Take us away.
Hi, I'm Lolo.
And I'm Ben.
And this is
And
Hey
this
Bay
is
City.
Hey Bay City.
Yeah, that was really good. That's the one we're going to keep. That's the one we're going to keep. Heck yeah. So Lolo and Ben, we're here at LoLoBee's on Midland Street. Before we talk about you and your story, can you tell me about this delicious beverage that I am now drinking?
So you're drinking Worse Than Finding a Worm in Your Apple, affectionately known as The Worm. But its original full name was up on our promo board for Halloween. And it was Worse Than Finding a Worm in Your Apple, so that customers would be like, hey, what's worse than finding a worm in your apple? And I'd say finding half a worm. But
You could be a little jokester. Well, I mean, this is so telling of the kind of vibe that you guys have here in LoLoBee's. Because when I walked in, like I admitted to Ben my sin. I had never been in LoLoBee's before this interview. But as soon as I walked in the door, I was like, I don't need... This is a different vibe of coffee shop. Like there's a different intention, and there's all sorts of stuff all over the walls, and inflatables and art, and is that an N64 or a PlayStation?
Oh, there's a Switch over
Nintendo
there.
Switch.
Yeah.
A Nintendo Switch over there. So I'm really, really excited to talk to both of you about what this place is, but I'm also really interested to hear your personal story. So Lolo, let's start with you. Tell me where you grew up.
Sure, yeah. I grew up in New Orleans.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I lived there. I went to college there, and then I moved here about, 6 years ago?
Yes.
Oh, wow. What did you go to college for?
Business administration with a minor in human resource management.
Wow. Like New Orleans, or like...
Yeah, so I lived in Lakeview, which is literally the suburb just outside of the city.
Wild. I was just there for work. I wasn't there for work. I flew into New Orleans for work. I was working in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. The traffic in New Orleans is bonkers.
Yeah,
You
it's
should go
crazy.
there during Mardi Gras.
I unimaginable. Yeah, my friends in Hattiesburg were like, yo, you should come for Mardi Gras. And I was like, I don't think I could handle it. The
Just have
intensity.
somebody else drive and just chill.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be down for that. So you moved here 6 years ago. Why did you move here 6 years ago?
This guy.
Okay. We'll get to
Stockholm syndrome.
I captured her. We'll get to how you that part of the story
Sure.
in just a second, how you guys met. But Ben, where'd you grow up?
I was born in Vegas, and I was actually raised mostly in Michigan since I was like 6 months old.
Oh, really?
In a small town called St. Louis, not Missouri.
I grew up in Alma.
Oh, really?
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you know.
Yeah. How old are you?
34.
Yeah, I'm 38. So we were like neighbors.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, I used to.
Ships in the night.
Yeah, I used to ride my BMX bike at the skate park in
Oh, yeah.
St.
Did you
Louis.
have your van shoes?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
100% I did.
Were you, graduate 04 then?
03.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah. Wow, wild. Cool. Yeah, middle of the mitten, man.
Yeah.
Right.
That big stone that they took out of there.
Honestly, unless you're from about 10 miles from St. Louis, no one knows St. Louis even exists.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true, which is sad. I met some beautiful people in St. Louis. Yeah. And who is this guy?
I'm the owner's son.
What's your name, owner's son?
Son.
This is my spawn. His name's Tommy.
Hi, Tommy. You got a cool place here, man.
Yeah.
So tell me, you grew up in St. Louis.
Yes.
Where'd you go to high school? Where'd you go to college? For what?
Went to high school at St. Louis, Michigan. Not a lot to do there. Just, start cults and farm fields with a lot of cows.
It's true. Farm
And
fields,
then,
baby.
yeah, I went to college for nursing originally, and then I shifted, and I got my degree in liberal studies.
What does that mean?
Nothing.
What kind of classes did you take?
Everything.
Yeah, everything.
English, math,
All over the place.
history,
Okay.
writing,
Yeah.
speech.
Was it because that intrigued you, or because
Studied
it was?
liberally.
Yeah.
Yes. It was because I was trying to get the fastest degree I could possible.
Yeah. Yeah. After college, what'd you do?
I worked in the hospital and have been working for the tribe for a few years.
Okay, cool. How'd you guys meet? Because I mean, Louisiana,
Yeah.
I saved her
St.
from up
Louis.
He likes to say that. Online dating.
I mean, that'll do it. Online dating?
Yeah, for sure.
What are your thoughts about online dating at the time? Was it weird or was it awesome or?
I don't know. Honestly, I was just kind of seeing who I could talk to and
Yeah.
not necessarily looking for anything. And then
Right.
I don't know why he had his search all the way out to New Orleans.
Yeah.
But his first question to me was, if you could write a book about anything, what would you write a book about? And then it was just really easy to talk to him. And
What was your answer?
something supernaturally. I was
Oh,
really
really?
into ghosty stuff. I
Are you-
still am.
Are
but
you?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever checked out Haunted Saginaw?
I want to. I
Yeah.
want to see all the haunted stuff around here. I'm really excited about the Arlington reopening so
Yes.
that I can hang out in there because I hear that's haunted.
I want to be haunted. I've never been haunted. See, people say ghosts and spirits exist, but I used to live in a parsonage that was 113 years
We
old,
both
and
did, yeah.
nothing mysterious happened there.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I'll just throw something at me, throw
Yeah.
a comb at me,
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, so you can see it for yourself. I think the
Yeah.
same thing about like UFOs. Because right now UFOs are big, aliens are big with disclosure. Are they really real? And
Right.
government hearings and things like that. And I was driving to work 2 days ago and I was thinking, you know what? I just want to see one. Just give me a little UFO flyby.
Just a little teaser.
Well,
Okay.
well, I mean, you could actually see a lot of UFOs if you're really bad at identifying things in the sky.
That's true. But they call them something different now, right? It's
Do
not.
they?
UAP.
Yeah, UAP.
What is that?
Unknown aerial phenomenon, but I mean,
Yeah.
again, if you don't know what a drone is,
That's true. That's true. So online dating, you're like, I want to write a book, supernatural. You guys started talking. How long did you talk online before you actually met in person?
2 days.
That's a lie.
Yes.
I think it was like a year.
A year?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah, it was
I was working in Disney World doing the Disney College program. the
Oh, yeah.
internship that they have. And we figured it was the perfect time for us to meet each other in a way that wasn't so much pressure and also had plenty to do.
Yeah, right.
But it was really funny because he was going to come down and see me. And I was like, oh, yeah, we're going to go to Disney World. And he was like, oh, so what are we going to do while we're down there? And I'm like, we're going to Disney
I mean,
World.
what don't you do at Disney
Right.
World?
And he was like, isn't that for kids? And I'm like, just shut up.
Yeah.
And we went and it was
So
great.
you had
and
never
he
been
loved
to
it.
Disney World before?
Correct.
So what were your impressions of Disney World? What'd you think? As
Very, very expensive,
Yeah.
and
That's true.
But really
Well, it
nice.
was
A lot of
free
fun stuff
then.
to
I was
do.
getting you
well,
in
no,
for
yeah,
free.
well, but like the food,
Yeah,
like $10 for an ice
for
cream.
sure. For sure.
Yeah, and I hear that it's even more expensive now.
Yeah.
Every
they
year.
just keep rocking it up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sorry, kids.
Yeah.
Guys will have to pay your way to
Snooze, lose.
Disney World instead of college, I guess.
What was really fun about that was she was getting me down there for free, and I'd leave my son back here to be watched by his grandparents so he could enjoy Disney World.
See, that's what we want to do. I can say this on air because my daughter Evelyn isn't old enough to listen to this. That's our plan because my wife has never been to Disney World. So our plan is for us two to go by ourselves, tell her that we're going somewhere for a vacation.
Tell them it's a work conference.
Yeah, it's like a work. I'm going to work, and I'm
You gotta
going.
go during Food and Wine Festival. That's the best
When
time
is
to
that?
go. I think it's fall-ish time.
Okay.
But they have a bunch of food carts that
Oh,
have
wow.
like unique offerings based on the area that they put the food cart in. Because
Oh,
it's in
dope.
Epcot. So you know how they have like the worlds? Yeah. So
Oh yeah.
they have really yummy food and drinks.
I could be all about that. So you were smitten by Disney World. You were smitten by Lolo. When did you guys decide? Hey, Michigan is where we want to call home.
Well, he was already up here and he had a rental property that he had just purchased and it had a spot available. And moving up here would mean that I didn't have to break my lease with a friend that I was renting from down south. So it just seemed like the right time.
St. Louis? Did you end up in St. Louis or Bay City when you moved here?
So we
or-
moved to Bay City.
You
I
Bay
moved
City.
to Bay City,
Okay,
and he
cool.
was kind of commuting because he had another job that was like up in Standish,
Oh,
so
okay.
it was easier for him to be here than in St. Louis. So
Awesome.
just kind of things all came together.
So
in Bay
you were
City.
living in
And then-
St. Louis. She moved to Bay
Yeah,
City.
kind of when I got the rental property, I was staying mostly in Bay City, renovating one of the spaces, and then she moved up, and I was like, well, I guess I'll stay here more often.
Yeah, cool.
Mm-hmm.
What was it about Bay City? Was it just the fact that he had a rental property,
Well,
or was it
was
something?
just the fact that he had a rental property,
Okay.
but once I got here, it's adorable. I feel
Yeah.
like it's a little mini New Orleans. It's,
Really?
Yeah, it's by the water. It's got festivals all summer long. You know, there's so much culture that is kind of untapped. You know what I mean? I think it's slowly building back up. But when I first moved up here, I was just like, oh, cool, events. And it's by the water and it's at its own Bourbon Street. But now that we've opened LoLoBee's and kind of open our arms to like the arts community of music and art and all that stuff, it's a lot bigger than you'd realize. It's just kind of like under the surface right now.
You hear that, haters? A little New Orleans. I love that you said that because look, in all of my community work, like that's always one of the hurdles is in every single community, this is not just indicative of or specific to Bay City, is if you grow up in a community, you grow up with sometimes kind of a bias or a blindness to what you actually
cool.
have. Yeah, to what makes it cool because it's just, you kind of take it for granted. And so I think one of the greatest blessings is you do have somebody come from outside the community and be like, oh, I love it here for X, Y, and Z. And you're like, oh my gosh. And I love what you said about kind of opening your arms to the arts community because I just did a series a couple months ago on the hip hop scene in Bay City. And I was telling people at the city and county commission last week about the hip hop scene. They're like, we have a hip hop scene? Yeah. Like it's growing, it's thriving. There's kind of a cool partnership with the grassroots level of Saginaw. So that's very, very cool.
What is the name of your rap EP going to be called?
Philharmonic.
Oh, solid. That's pretty
actually
solid.
pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like how I already had that
Thinking
planned
about
out?
that, yeah.
Yep.
You were ready.
Yep. So you've got a rental property. Are you working in Bay City?
Yeah, so I was working for Starbucks. I had been working there for 15 years before we started this.
Oh, the one on Wilder?
So I worked at the one in New Orleans, and because it's corporate,
I see.
it was very easy to transfer up.
Gotcha.
So that was nice. You know, you can move around all over the place with them. And I was working at they put me at the Tittabawassee one in Saginaw first, and then I worked at the one in Midland for a little while, and then I was the one on Wilder.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
When did the idea for LoLoBee's first come to be? Like, do you remember the conversation?
Well,
she always had that idea ever since she was really young. She wanted to, since 8 or 9.
Yeah, since like 7th grade, I think. My best friend was going to have the bookstore and I was going to have the coffee shop.
Really?
And they were going to be like right next to each other.
I love that because, I mean, 7, 8, or 9, you're thinking like, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a firefighter. But you're like, I just want a bookstore and a coffee shop. I love that. So when...
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was going to be an option, you know? It seemed like it was going to cost a lot of money. And then how are we going to figure out whether or not it's profitable? And I might as well stay where I'm safe, you know? But
when I was 8 or 9,
it,
I actually really wanted one of those standing mech robots like the Power Rangers have.
Oh, yeah.
It's fully assembled.
Yep. Yeah.
That was my birthday wish for 4 years straight.
Why didn't you go into engineering instead of liberal studies?
Yeah. You could have made your own mech armor.
Well, the hope is in 10 years we'll just have 1,000 LoLoBee's stores, and then
there you go, and then they'll pay for your mech suit
to build me a mech suit.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, he's taking like kind of the
He's big picture.
Yeah, backdoor approach. I love that. So you have this dream growing up. You guys are working. When did it become like, oh, we could actually do this? Like we could make this work?
Probably shortly after I moved up here.
Okay.
That Ben was like, I think that's possible. And I was like, stop. We don't have time for that. Shh. And then he would keep bringing it up. No, hey, I'm running these numbers, and I think we
started
can do
running
this.
the maths, and it seemed very good math-wise.
Yeah. Was there anything specifically about Bay City that stood out to you that made it work math-wise, specifically coming from New Orleans?
Noticed that, in New Orleans, they have a very present evening crowd. Alcohol or not, 24-hour bars, they have music into the night.
Yeah.
We were like, man, after 6 p.m., there's nothing to do in Bay City. Why is that? And we were like, we could be that spot, and so that's what we did.
Wow. Can I tell you a side story about New Orleans?
I would love it.
So the only time I've ever been to New Orleans was on a high school choir tour.
Oh, nice.
And so we drove the bus down. We
You're a tenor?
Oh, yeah. First tenor, baby.
Oh, nice.
High voice. So on one of our off days, we were singing a bunch of concerts in Louisiana, Mississippi. So we're like, oh, look, let's drop all the kids off in New Orleans. And so we're running around New Orleans. We're like, I think 18, doing all the New Orleans thing that an 18-year-old can do. And
which is everything.
Yeah, we get back to the bus, and we're all getting on the bus, and our choir director is angry. And I'm like, what happened? And standing next to him are 2 of my friends. And
They left you out of the loop?
yeah. Well, and I'm thankful because come to find out that they got into a couple of the bars, ended up drinking a bunch,
Oh my God.
Told ya.
and kicked him. That was a violation of what our code of conduct, and so
Right.
they got kicked off a choir tour, and their parents had to drive from Michigan
Stop it.
to
That
Louisiana
is not a
awesome.
fun drive.
to pick. Especially if you're trouble. Can you imagine that drive back?
Fuming the whole way.
The whole way, like 18-hour drive or whatever.
Just imagining the way you're going to beat their asses.
Yeah. Their parents left the next day. We had a concert, and they had to sit in the audience, and look at us. It was.
my
Can you
gosh.
imagine that drive of shame?
Yeah, for sure.
That's my Louisiana story.
Hashtag worth it.
Yeah, because it makes for a great story.
It does, for sure.
So you're doing the math. It's working out. Yeah.
What was it like? It was like right before COVID that we were like, let's do it. And
was-
then we're like,
Oh,
whoa,
yeah.
hold on.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was like late 2019, and then early 2020 we started looking at places, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
So it's, oh wow. If
Glad
would
we
have
didn't do it
opened up
now.
right before COVID.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't have been viable at all.
When did you pick the ball back up and start moving again?
I'd say about a year after COVID
Well,
started.
we still were going to do it. We were still like, yes, we're doing this because we got our LLC figured out and everything. And then pretty much, what did you say?
About a year later, we were
Yeah.
looking the whole time, and then once we found a spot and wasn't as big of a thing, and vaccines, masks, all that
Yeah.
had been rolled out, we
Sure.
Yeah.
So then we ended up actually opening August 2022.
yeah.
Heck yeah, you did. What did you think about this spot when you first saw it?
Well, so it was like decrepit. It was derelict. There was nothing
Right.
in
No
here.
windows, nothing.
No windows, no
Oh,
floor.
really? There weren't these windows or anything right
No,
here?
when we came by, he had actually just put in the front windows, but everything else was
But the
barren.
back window had like
Oh, wow.
plywood over
There
it.
was no floor.
There was a big old hole in the wall over there.
Yeah.
Wild.
So we were able to get him to build it exactly how we wanted it,
We
which was
actually
nice.
thought he was.
Who is
working-
he?
Oh,
Oh,
Rob
yeah.
Kennedy. He owns this
Rob
whole
Kennedy?
block of
Okay.
buildings.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding. No, we came in. We're like, hey, you probably are renting this out. Can we get one of the other spots? And he's like, oh, I'm not renting this out. And I'm like, all right, can we get in? He's like, yeah, sure. He's like, do you want all the brick covered up with drywall? And we're like,
No.
no.
Why would I want
thank
that?
God.
Yeah.
you're like, oh,
Yeah,
man,
the
must
brick
work.
wall is awesome. Wow. So, August of 2022?
Yep,
Yep.
August 13th.
Part of opening a business is the math part of it. Are the numbers going to work? Can we find a space? Can
blood
we?
oaths.
Yeah, the blood oaths.
Literally with the bureaucracy. yes.
Sacrificing a firstborn child.
But
But part of it is also like the concept of it. I remember I did an interview with a couple who own a coffee shop in Pomeroy, Larry and Candace Hess of River Roasters. And the first thing that they did to plan their business was figure out the playlist.
oh, nice. Yeah.
They were both in the music, and that was part of their business plan. Like our coffee shop playlist. When you guys thought about LoLoBee's, what was the concept of it? What was the vibe of it? What did you want it to be?
So there's this place in New Orleans called Velvet Cactus, and they have a bunch of really cool art on the walls. Like all of the art walls are covered with art, and it's all for sale.
Oh, very
and I've
cool.
always been obsessed with that, so I wanted to make that happen here. And then also in line with being open late at night and being an option late at night, we wanted to be a space where people would want to come to
Yeah.
hang out. Even if they're not going to get a coffee every time, at least they're going to chill, you know?
Right.
Or play music, have poetry,
Right.
pretty much anything they want to do.
So
like,
because of all of those events, they would want to hang out.
yeah, we basically almost put an open invite to virtually anyone if they wanted to use the space.
Awesome.
And that piano is actually from New Orleans. It's from the late 1800s.
My great aunts.
Really? You brought that all the way up here?
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
It was nice.
Yeah, I can imagine. Goodness
Everyone
gracious.
told us to throw it out.
Yeah, but it's got a story behind it, so you got to do it. Like,
every time it gets tuned, they're like, I can get you another one.
no, you cannot get me another one. The vibe here kind of reminds me of the original Red Eye in Saginaw.
We've heard that a
Have
lot.
you?
We've heard that. We never have actually been there.
That's kind of what this reminds me of. And the same thing, like they called it the Red Eye because it was open late at night, which I
Nice.
think is dope. And tell me your hours.
Oh yeah, we're noon to midnight. and
Noon
only
to
closed on
midnight
Wednesdays.
and only closed on Wednesdays, which I think is amazing because in like business sense, you could make the case like that doesn't make any sense. Like you're a coffee shop, you should be 7 to 2.
We're like, hey, when are you going to open at 8 a.m.? And we're like, go to the 15 other coffee
got
shops that are
options, my
open at
dude.
8 a.m.
Yeah. That I love that. Look, well, there's other coffee shops open at that time. Go to them and then come to us late at night.
Right.
It's a win-win for everybody.
For sure.
Yeah, we get a lot of
awesome.
late night studiers, late night workers, like factory workers, hospital workers, college, high school kids,
Yep.
you name it.
And what I love about the late hours too, it kind of fills this gap of third places, like a place to
Yes.
go, but not work, not home. That I can stop by after work. I could have a meeting. I could meet up with friends. I could study. I could work on a project or something. And
Yeah,
you guys are
exactly.
open, as opposed to being like the library might be open now, or the bar, or the restaurant, but they're not really cool with me bringing my laptop and working
Yeah.
and things like that. But I could do that here.
Well, and we
I
get
don't.
quite a number of high school bands and kids that are just dabbling musically where they aren't even allowed in some of these bars. And they're like,
yeah.
can I play for you next Thursday night? And we're like, yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, our calendar's always open. There's a spot on our website
Really?
to sign up and just be like, hey, can I do this in here? And we'll usually say yes.
Awesome. Oh, I love that too, because it's like we talk about cultivating small businesses with co-working spaces, but burgeoning musicians don't always have a place to like play their first live show. Even if
sure.
it's like a room of one person, I can get that experience of what it means to play live in front of people.
Yeah, for sure.
To get into a lot of places, either with art or music, you have to be at least, a few years experience, moderately good.
It's almost
Yeah.
like entering the workforce.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
You need-
much.
you
There
need
you
work
go.
Experience to
Yeah,
get work
like what's your
experience.
resume?
Right.
Yeah. Well, so along with the art, along with the music and being open late, maybe just give me a 101 of things that I might see here or experience here.
Well, we've got local art for sale on the walls. There are local vendors selling their stuff on the middle.
Oh yeah,
two
cool.
shelves
I didn't
over
even
there.
see that over there. Yeah.
Yep. We've got, like we said earlier, the Switch hooked up to the TV with Mario Kart, Smash, Mario Party, some old school Nintendo games
Got
too.
some books and board games over there.
Smash Brothers was my high school.
We got
That's the
Smash
only-
Brothers,
only-
Mario
It's on
Kart,
there.
Mario
The
Party.
only thing I remember from high school, pretty much.
And
All the
we
characters are on there.
We have all the N64 Classic and Super Nintendo Classic games on there too. Yeah. But we got
and we do trivia every Friday at 7.
Oh, cool.
karaoke once
Once a month. I think the next one's on the 30th.
Wild.
Double
Yeah.
check.
Yeah, as long as we're talking about events, spill the beans on some coming events here.
Yeah, for sure. So tonight we have trivia at 7. Usually it fills up. We'll usually have 17 teams in here. on
And that's
Friday.
every
Friday.
every Friday night is trivia.
Busy,
7 o'clock.
busy.
Yep.
Okay.
And then tomorrow there's tarot from 7 to 11. Bree is doing that. Bree's actually got some art for sale on the walls too.
Oh,
over
cool.
there. She
Yeah.
does aura paintings. Sage Library is hosting a book club in here next Monday. There's music next Friday, music the following Saturday. And then there's also a comedy event on Saturday too, the 27th.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's laugh at stigmatized professions, but I think they're also opening the mic up to anybody who wants to just...
Oh, fun.
And then, yeah, like we said, karaoke is on the 30th at 8.
Yeah, you could make jokes about being a podcast host.
Good. Yeah, absolutely. Like we need another white, bald, bearded podcast host.
Yeah, I'm not wearing any pants. Phil isn't wearing any
Nope.
pants right now.
Nope. Free bird, baby.
And then we've also got a couple big ones coming up. We've got LoLoPalooza, which is our Mardi Gras celebration, which is 3-day music, all day long, open to close.
Tell me the dates of that.
Yeah, that's February 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Cool.
All day.
And we're going to be doing
day.
buy a king cake cocoa, which is basically like a cinnamon white hot chocolate. You get a free LoLoPalooza sticker and some Mardi Gras beads.
Wow.
Yep.
3 days.
Yep. And then the trivia that night, the prize is going to be a king cake.
Awesome.
Yeah, for
Full-size
sure.
king cake.
So tell the folks at home what a king cake is if they've never had one.
So it's basically like a cinnamon roll, but it's in a hoop.
Yeah.
And it's got purple, green, and gold sprinkles on it.
Yeah.
And they usually hide a baby in it, and like
human baby.
a little plastic baby Jesus, I guess.
Yes.
And then if that's in your slice,
You
if you don't
die.
choke on it,
Yeah.
you have to buy the next king cake.
There you go. Yeah.
But places stop hiding the baby in there because of the choking.
The liability of it. Yeah.
You just have it on top,
Bring it
and then you
back.
can hide it.
Yeah, when I was working in Mississippi, it was like that's all people talked about was like
cake?
who had the best king cake.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
had the best king cake? Well, you got to go over here. No, this is actually legit
For some
king cake.
reason, a lot of people in Mississippi seem to think that they
No,
do.
it's Alabama that thinks that they
thinks they
did
do
Mardi Gras.
better than
Oh, really?
New Orleans. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess technically they had the first parade because they were
Yes.
part of the Louisiana Purchase, but like it really took off in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bama.
Sorry.
Roll Tide.
Snooze, you lose. What? So you guys opened in August of 22. It's now 2024, so you've officially crossed like your year of being in business plus some months. Lolo, you first. What has been the reception to LoLoBee's? What's your take on year one of running this business?
It's been phenomenal. It's been really great. We're glad to be here and be present for the community, and it's been really cool to see how people use our space and the kind of things that they decide to like do. Like we've had plant pop-ups and clothing swaps and things like that.
Painting classes.
Yep. And the friends we've made a a lot of friends with our regulars. It's just been really, really awesome to work hard and see it appreciated.
Yeah, I appreciate what you guys are doing because along with being a very creative space with a lot going on and its own unique vibe, it feels like you've been here for a long time.
Right.
Like you walk in and you're like, oh, this must be a really popular coffee shop here because it's been here for 15 years, but you've only been here for 1 year.
Yeah, it feels like forever and also not long at all.
Yes, that's exactly how I define COVID. It's, man, it seems 20 years ago, but it also seems like yesterday.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Ben, what about you? What's your takeaway in year one?
I mean, just kind of in addition to what she said, I really love seeing basically how people have used the space and us being able to provide that. We've had people meet in here like romantic partners and then
we had an engagement in here too.
Did you really?
They got engaged in here,
Yeah.
and then we have other friends who are trying to throw their wedding in here too.
Really?
Yeah.
Someone did engagement photos in here. We had someone brought their child in.
So
Their
sweet.
child had their first steps in here.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, we've had a lot of like really cool, just significant life events that have happened in here, and it's been really, really humbling to be able to provide that and see that and be a part of it.
Well, I'm so happy for you guys because that moment when a business transcends being a business and starts being a part of a community, that's where the magic happens. That's where you get to see a baby's first steps and you get to see the parents' reaction to that and engagements and things like that. Yes, coffee is good. Yes, drinks are good. But when you get that human feel-goodiness, like there is no motivation, no fuel like that.
Yeah, it was really good too that I got to push the child down so they could try and reenact it at home.
We didn't get a picture of it. We didn't get a picture of it. Do it again.
Just knock them down real fast.
Try it again. So if people want to come experience the magic for themselves, or maybe like stalk you first on social media,
Being stalked.
tell me how people can find you on the internet.
Yeah, we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Tumblr, DoorDash.
LoLoBee's, just
Yep, I think it's LoLoBee's Lounge or the LoLoBee's, depending on which social media, but
sweet. Or even better, you could just drive down here. What's your address?
106 Southland Street.
Yeah, here in the Midland Street District, which great things are happening here, man. Like, I know you're relatively new-ish, but like
No, but I remember seeing it not with anything.
Right. And the momentum happening here in Midland Street, especially, like it's very cool to see. And
A lot
bunch of
cool things
restaurants
opening up.
opening. Major Skate right
Major
next door.
Skate.
That's
I
so
love
cool.
the fact that you guys are right next door to
Yeah.
Major Skate. I was like,
they were a little tidbit. They were originally going to try and be in the furthest unit because it didn't have a floor.
Yeah.
So their ramps were going to go all the way
Like
in.
8 to 10 foot into
what?
the
That
floor
would have been sick.
that would have been sick. Yeah, but I love that too because you have very complimentary vibes. Like
Yeah.
what Anthony's trying to do, and that like yes, it's about skateboarding, but it's also about community and people. And I'm gonna teach you how to skate because I'm also learning how to skate, and we're all learning how to skate, and this is cool. And then I can come over here and hang out and get a drink a worm in a cup and have a really great time. So even better yet, people. You can stalk them on the internet, but you should really come down here. Check out LoLoBee's for yourself. They're open all day, every day. Actually, not. It's 12
It's noon to midnight.
Noon to
closed on
midnight.
Closed on Wednesdays.
Yes. I want to thank you guys for taking the time, this delicious drink, and especially what you're bringing to our community here in Bay
Thanks,
City,
Phil.
Bay County. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. I love you.
I love you too. Friends, cheers.
Cheers.
Yay, new friends.
I hit the mic.